Some important things you need to know when test driving an RV. I'm Patti Hunt, and you're listening to the RV Life Podcast. What better way to learn about test driving and finding the RV that's right for you than taking that RV out on the open road? The interview you're going to hear is while driving in the Panoramic van. This podcast is very different because the interview part was recorded in this Panoramic van, and my co-pilot was Angie Morell. We were live at the City Motorhome Expo near Nashville, Tennessee. The event was created by Brett Davis, the owner of National Indoor RV Centers. And this event had all the top manufacturers of A, B, and C class RVs come together in this one place, and they brought in many of the 2025 RVs. People attending this event were able to test drive, walk through, sit in these RVs, and really, truly immerse themselves in the RV to see which one was right for them. Now, my guest and co-pilot, Angie Morell, has transformed from a busy stay-at-home wife and mom of 3 children to an award-winning national sales director for National Indoor RV Centers. And she is a YouTube superstar. In this interview with Angie, she and I talked about test driving, what to do before you get in your RV, types of RVs, how to find the right dealer for you, and why everybody in the RV that can drive should know how to drive that RV. But before we dive into the interview, let's go into what you need to know. And that is brought to you by Open Road Resorts. And they now have 7 locations, 2 in Montana, 1 in Idaho, 1 in Texas, 1 in Nebraska, and their newest location is in New Mexico. It is Santa Fe KOA Journey, and it is in Santa Fe, New Mexico. There is so much to do right in the area where this campground is. Plus, this campground has many amenities. It looks beautiful, and this sounds like a campground you would want to check out. Now, what you need to know. Van campers, Class B, in 2022, there were about 768 sold. In 2023, there were 11,900 sold. That's a huge difference. So these van campers or Class B RVs are really taking off. Can't wait to see what 2024 sales looks like. That's what you need to know, and that was brought to you by Open Road Resorts. And you can check out all of their locations by going to openroadresorts.com. But now we're going to dive into that interview. Let's listen as Angie and I travel around the streets near Nashville, Tennessee, in this incredible Panoramic RV. We are ready for our test drive. So tell our listeners a little bit about what we did before we actually sat in the seat.
So you always, no matter what you're driving, A, B, or C class, you've got to have a pre-trip checklist. And you have to have it because you just have to have a routine that you check everything. That way you make sure you're unplugged.
Yes.
Everyone does it once. Just one time. Maybe twice.
Story for another time.
Yeah. And, just all your compartments, that they're locked. Your windows are shut, unless you're wanting those open, because those are going to be extra noise when you're going down the road. So if you want a nice, quiet ride, just get everything set. You should have a pre-trip checklist for outside and then inside as well. So you're going to make sure your showers are locked, your cabinet doors are locked. If you have, a lot of times, noise will come from the microwave because you've got that glass plate in there on that, depends. So you may want to either have a rubber pad that you put in there to eliminate that noise. But so to make the ride enjoyable for everyone, you want to eliminate the noise or the stress of something coming open while you're riding.
Right. And while I've driven full-time for 3 years, this is different. And so you have to go through the checklist for the unit you're in. And as people who have listened to the episode, the RV Life podcast episode on June 5th, we're talking about van life.
Yes.
And so we're in a van today, and
Yeah, the Panoramic RV. And this is exciting. It's on the Ram chassis. So basically, Patty, it's like driving your car. Okay. So it's going to be very similar. You do have a park brake. We'll release the park brake, and then you can put it into drive, and we'll get started. And I always just tell all my first-time drivers that, you know what, just take your time. You know what, we don't care if someone's talking to us from behind or sign language. That's what I call it.
Sign language.
You just, you know what, we are in an RV. We're having a good time. Take your time. Bad things happen when we're in a rush. And so, especially when we're learning and getting comfortable with something new, just take your time.
Okay.
So go ahead, I'd say release the park brake if you haven't already, and put it in drive. And then we're going to take you a little bit on some easy roads, and then we'll get on the highway. So you can feel
We're getting on the highway.
ready for that.
Nobody told me about that. Listen,
Real life. We got to do real life, right?
real life. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I guess I'm ready whether I want to be or not. I'm going to get a feel for
Yeah.
the brake and how sensitive.
That's always a good idea too. You know, get comfortable with it. Make sure your seat's adjusted, seatbelt's on, steering wheel is in the right position. You can see all your gauges. It makes for a better, driving experience.
Really
for sure.
nice big screen.
Yes. You can throw our navigation up there, and it can take the whole screen. So maybe it will help us get navigated, or we're just going to be going around the fairgrounds. So typically what I tell, now again, you're in a van, so not everything is the same as when you're in a Class C or a Class A. But typically I always say that you kind of hug the center of the left lane, just because you may have more street signs, road debris, tree branches. You don't want them scratching your van. Things to watch out for when you're traveling.
And this isn't easy. Like the steering wheel is very easy to maneuver.
It should feel like you're driving a van. If you were, you should be. And I go this way. So one of the things that you do have to think about is like drive-throughs. Depending on how tall, you want to look at that height restriction to make sure.
And I asked Philip, and he said you could go through a drive-through. So I figured if you could go through a drive-through, you could go through anywhere.
Yeah. Car wash drive-throughs, just double check those, you know?
Right. And we use RV Trip Wizard. I'll give them a plug because they will tell me exactly where I can and cannot go. And they're not perfect, so always double check that.
Yep.
Well, this is, so for starters, a nice, smooth, easy drive. I have a Jeep Wrangler, a little bit older Jeep Wrangler. This drives nicer than the Jeep Wrangler. It's got all the upgraded features, I'm sure.
Well, the nice thing about van life is it's versatile. It can be your everyday vehicle plus your home or your vacation home, your lake house, your beach house, your mountain cabin. You got it all right here. Your office.
Right.
I mean,
it's got great office space in here.
How about being in, Arches National Park and looking out and having this be your office space and then that beautiful scenery outside? Sounds pretty perfect.
Yes, yes. So here's somebody coming in now, and it's a huge Class A.
Yeah.
Dual rear drive, and it is a woman driving. So let's talk a little bit about, let me just set this up for those people who don't know. Dan and I happened to be in a campground, luckily, when he got ill. And I never really drove the Monaco. We had a 40-foot Monaco Diplomat. And luckily we were in a campground. Because the big thing is, if you're on a highway, you're on a road somewhere, everybody has to know how to get the vehicle to safety.
They do. I always say, and that's one of the reasons in all my videos that I do drive typically in heels, because I figure if I'm going to dress in heels and I'm driving a Class A, Class C, Class B, whatever, I hope the message that I'm trying to convey there is that they can do it in, way more comfortable clothing and apparel. But really, it's so important that both, your significant other can drive. So, RV driving schools, they're all across the country. Take a day and pay for that, because it's not only is it going to give you peace of mind when you're traveling, but they'll also teach you how to park, and that's going to keep you married.
Yes. That is so true.
My favorite pillow is the one that I found that says, "I'm sorry for what I said when you were backing up."
Yes,
or parking.
Yes.
And it just happened the other day at National Indoor RV Centers. I was doing a video. A couple came in, and they had some terse words between each other. They had no idea I was sitting in the driver's seat of the coach next to them, and heard the whole exchange. They probably would have been mortified, but I was like, it's communication, and you learn how to direct when you're backing someone in, how to tell them to stop.
And when you get frustrated, you just say, "Get out! I'll do it."
Yeah,
that's the
and you
beauty of
just
it, too.
always should have a spotter. Period. In the story.
Yes.
So I mean,
Now, for
sometimes
David, we always use the walkie-talkies.
Mhm.
He liked that better than the phone, because you for whatever reason, you get on the walkie-talkie. That's what we use. We learned how to say driver's side, passenger side instead of left, right.
Mhm.
Your left, my right, which one?
Right. It gets very confusing.
So there are definitely things to keep you from.
And we're gonna go left up here and get on the freeway.
I'll get on the freeway.
Yeah.
We're getting on the freeway, people. This is no joke.
And this is like a little tight turn, so you're gonna experience that. But this way,
Up there on
right
the
here,
freeway.
right here. So you've seen how quiet it is in this cab. Like
That's a good point. It is so quiet.
Yeah, it's just like driving your car.
Yes.
So now we're going to get on the freeway, and you can test it the same way.
Okay. See how fast this thing goes. So for me, I used to say, well, I had somebody that would come, drive the RV. They would drop everything and pick us up and drive it at any time I needed. Not a good plan.
No.
Because again, if I'm on a highway and I just need to get us to safety even. Now I did have somebody say, well, I'm teaching her how to drive. I'm teaching my wife how to drive. Not a good idea. I'm teaching my wife how to drive, and then she'll know. Well, if she never does it, you got to do it at least some of the time.
Yeah, I think, I learned there's always got to be the first time. So my first time was we were at the Dallas RV show, and I was like, you know what? Why don't we have test drive coaches? Like, that's such a great idea. I just thought this is, and they're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go get a coach. So we go back to Louisville, and they go, well, you're driving it back. I'm like, no, I'm not. I've never driven one before. It was a 40-foot Class A diesel. And I'm like, no, I'm not driving. And they're like, yeah, you are. Like, how else are you going to learn? You have to do it. So I white-knuckled it down to downtown Dallas, believe me. So
Wow.
not an enjoyable experience.
And just driving a car in downtown Dallas is stressful.
Yeah. But, you have to try. Typically what I do with my customers is I'll take them out to a nearby park, and then I'll put them in the driver's seat at that point and let them get a fill for the van or the coach, and then get comfortable driving it when they don't have the pressure of traffic or other cars around them. So I think once I do that, depending on how comfortable I am with their driving ability, then I'll let them drive back to the dealership. And so that gives them that opportunity. Because I do think it's very important to test drive what you're buying. Whatever it is.
And I have to say, so National Indoor RV Centers has 6 locations, as I tell my listeners all the time. I love the videos that you do, and sometimes they're an hour and a half, 2 hours long. There is not a button, a mark, a something on the RV that you do not cover, and then they can do the fly and drive. I was just talking to somebody about this. Can you explain to our listeners so I make sure I have my details
Yeah,
right?
so my videos, I do try to be very detailed. I want them to be able to shop from their living room if they can't get to one of our locations. Now, then I want them to get to one of our locations to purchase. So we have a fly to buy program where we will fly a purchaser and significant other, so 2 people, in to take delivery of their coach, whether it be a van, Class C, Class A. Because, you know, with the internet, you can shop anywhere. So we want you to have customers for life. We truly believe in that. When you come and take delivery, we want you to stay on our lot for a couple nights. You know how important that is. There are so many things. And during your delivery and your walkthrough, it's sort of like drinking from the fire hose. So they do it, and then we want them to go sleep in their coach or their van and try everything out, and then wake up the next morning and go, okay, I have questions about this, and this.
Right, and that is incredibly important just from my experience. And again, I've been in 3 or 4 RVs, I've lived in the one, but it could be days later where you say, wait, what was that button, or how do I turn this on, or why did that make noises sometimes that you,
Speaking of,
if you, yes, we're going to get pictures.
there's
of that.
National Under RV Centers that
Yes.
we're passing.
And this is, this facility, there's something new about it, right? This facility, it's not a new facility.
No, this is brand new. We
Oh,
built
it is the brand new.
We built
Okay.
this from ground up. So this is our, sometimes we'll find an existing building that we can retrofit to work for our purposes. It's really best if we can build from ground up, since we store over 300 coaches indoors, plugged into 50 amp service or 30 amp service whenever they require. So it's nice if we can optimize this space.
Right. So they do storage, I just want to be clear.
We do.
Storage, you do obviously repairs, detailing,
Paint body.
paint and body, sales.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that I keep saying, just amazing people. When you look at, when you meet somebody like Brett Davis, the owner, and you feel that he is from the heart, and then meeting you, there was an instant connection. And Chuck, and then I've been in 3 locations now, 3 of the locations across the country. And when you walk in, if it's the person sitting behind the desk, they have that same caring, moral integrity.
I hope so. That's,
Oh, without a doubt.
That's definitely the goal of our, I think it starts from the top down with Brad, and I don't think that there's any other owner in the industry that full-times in his RV.
Yes.
So what that does is that he genuinely knows the hassles that are involved with RVing, and that's what we're trying to remove those. So, and then he knows the experience he wants to have, and he wants to provide that to his customers. So that's our goal that he's charged us with, to make sure that it's we want customers enjoying the RV lifestyle, because it's so amazing. I always say it's the fountain of youth. I truly, truly believe that. I see, couples in their 80s out RVing, and they've got to plan a trip. They're having adventures across the country. When they get to the campground, they're setting camp, they're washing off their coach, they're polishing it up. Like they are moving, active, planning, meeting new people, seeing new things. The adventures in life hasn't stopped or slowed down. So that's what I love about, this industry.
Oh, absolutely. And Brett is a big, I'm thinking of the word I'm looking for, but he speaks for the industry. He stands up for the industry to make it better.
Yes.
And I love that about what he does. He's not afraid to stand up and talk about what's going on and how can we make this better.
Yeah.
So
We're a bit of a disruptor
Yes.
in the industry.
that's the word.
We're a disruptor. We don't do things the RV industry way. We do them the way it makes sense. His brain and what he wants. And I feel like we're revolutionizing the RV industry, and that's our goal.
Absolutely. And always with the customer in mind. That is always the most important thing for Brett. And again, it trickles down to everyone.
Yep.
Well, this event, Music City Motorhome Expo, the first time here, the first of its kind, it is absolutely groundbreaking. It has been an absolutely amazing event. All the brand new 2025s, all the major companies, 2025s are here. People can get in, really sit in them. We could do a test drive and not worry that
like
somebody
this.
else wants to see it, or just like this, and really be able to take the time, talk to the different owners, CEOs, vice presidents, and then go to dinner with them.
And then you have lunch and you get to meet new people, and you ask them what they drove today and what were their thoughts. And okay, now I just have to point out, again, we're on the freeway. How fast you going? 53. What's the sound? How do you is anything rattling?
No, there's no rattling. The only thing I hear a little bit is the air conditioning.
Yeah, we've
which
got
we
the
even
AC on.
noticed. Yeah, you're always going to have that. It is so quiet, and the drive is so smooth. It is a smooth drive. Now again, there's no comparison between any RV and the Monaco Diplomat. That was a diesel pusher, but so noisy. You couldn't even talk to each other.
Really?
Oh, yeah, that bad. And of course, any of the 2020s on, or even before that, are not as noisy. They definitely got better with age. But yeah, there's no noise. It is so smooth. I could see driving in this for 4 or 5 hours without a problem.
So can you see yourself living the van life?
Is this like a...
I'm losing my voice.
Yes to the dress.
I don't have a piece of paper, and I'm not going to make you sign anything today.
It's interesting, and as people know, it's a very big change in life right now. And while we were in the 40-foot, I used to say, wow, wouldn't it be cool to get a van, travel for a month, go to the places you can't go in a 40-foot? Because my whole thing is the being by the lake, watching the sunset. Those are what I really love about travel. We were coming here, we were actually headed to Nashville. We stopped in a little town called Bonacqua, Tennessee. People who are from Tennessee, I don't think know the name. My cameraman is from Tennessee, and he doesn't know where that is. But it was just an amazing place. And to be able to pull up and just be in a van, I could see it. I got to tell the story. My grandson just turned 5 on Tuesday.
Oh, fun.
And I said, what do you want for your birthday? Because now when it comes to gifts for the kids, it is all about what experience we do. I don't just want to buy another toy. So I said, well, what do you want for your birthday? Like, let's do something. And he said, I want to go camping.
Oh, I love that.
I do too. My daughter now is rolling her eyes because she does not want to do that. He said, yeah, like in a tent, and we could have s'mores. And I said, how about like in a van or an RV?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Those are memories that, especially now with cell phones and everything else that can disrupt our lives and not have us engage with people, like getting out to nature and doing things like that. We're going to need more and more of that.
Absolutely.
And those are the things they'll remember, and not the gifts you gave them, but the adventure you gave them.
Exactly.
It's going to be way more memorable.
Yes, without a doubt.
For those of you looking to save money as you travel around the country and make travel easier, I highly recommend Open Roads. And you could go to myopenroads.com and find out about the Open Roads fuel card. This is a fuel card that saves you on diesel fuel every time you fill up. You sign up for the card for free. You go to your app to find out the station, the gas station you want to go to, and you could see exactly how much money you're going to save on diesel fuel. I've been using this card for 3 years, and it has saved me so much money. Simple and easy to do. Go to myopenroads.com. To make travel easier, Open Roads has a toll pass, and it is called Innovative Toll Solutions. And that toll pass covers all 48 states. Usually when I say that to people, they say, wait, what? And I have to repeat it. So I'm going to repeat it to you. That toll pass covers all 48 states. No more driving around the country trying to figure out if you have the right toll. This toll pass covers it all. You need one toll pass. It's $24 a year. And if you should have a problem, you either go on the app, so they have an app for you, you go on the app, or you call and you have concierge service that'll help you through any problem you might encounter. I have used that toll pass for 8 months and it has been great. No problems at all. To see both the diesel fuel card and the Open Roads toll pass, go to myopenroads.com. The information is in the show notes.
What do you love about this van in particular?
I like that there is a bed in the back. And then Philip said, so the mattress comes up if you want to
Take
if you have
bikes.
something big and bikes or whatever, it'll come up, it'll hook in place so you can move somebody or take a bunch of stuff if you want to. I like versatile. I like that there's options. So yeah, the fact that even that, which I wouldn't even have thought of, but that's a great feature.
Yeah. I love the table.
I do. I
The
love
tables
the table.
that like you can turn around the chairs, you can move the table easily.
You extend it out. I love how he showed us it could go as a connection to the kitchen. So if I do decide I want to cook, because I should cook more, I have that. So you have a lot of options. Even though this is rather small, there's so much storage. I love the storage. And the bed is high, so you have the storage underneath. And I love that he has the little step.
The little step up, I know, isn't that
And
the greatest?
It is, and of course, the step then has storage.
Yep.
Like, he's thought of everything. Also, one of my favorite parts of this is the panoramic windows, because that's the whole idea, is to pull out to the lake, to the mountain, and have that full
I mean, just look
view.
at this, like it's gorgeous, you know, and if you were riding in the back, you'd have full view of all this as well, which
Right.
is nice.
Yes, these are all, and it is great to do expos like this, to come into NIRBC and really touch and feel, look at the different models. What I find, having been on the road full time for 3 years, and I talk to everybody, why do you like this, what do you like, whatever class RV they're in, to really, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So to get into an RV and say, oh, I didn't even think about that, but I like this.
Right.
And so it really is important to take the test drives, to plan time. If people are going to come into NIRBC, take your time.
Right.
What you think you want may not be. I've talked to a lot of people here that are, well, we were thinking about this, but we looked at this.
Right.
And this has been the greatest opportunity for people to really look at different types of units.
Now that's when I was talking to a gentleman, and I actually met him down in the B-Van section, and we talked on the phone, and I was like, I knew he was looking at a Class A diesel, but he's like, you know what? I'm here, and I want to consider everything. So this is my time to like investigate and check out the B-Vans and make sure this isn't what we want, you know, because this is easy. This is jumping, quick in, go, you know, you fill up just like you do your car, everything. I mean, you know, it's just a little bit simpler and easy because it's smaller.
Right. Now, is this diesel or gas?
This is gas.
It is gas, okay.
So anything that is on the brand new chassis is going to be gas, and then your Sprinter chassis for Mercedes will be diesel.
Okay. And that's kind of the other type of, well, we're talking about the vans, just to educate, that's the other major type
Right.
of chassis is the Mercedes chassis, and that's diesel.
Right.
The other thing about this is the ease of dumping. He even has the tube that you put your stinky slinky in, and so it's got a place for it, so you're not trying to pile it into one of your compartments.
Yes.
Yes.
So like you disinfect everything.
Yes, exactly. That's important.
Like the separate space.
Yes, and again, something I don't know that I would have thought of before being in an RV, checking them out. What else would you suggest when people are looking for, you know, driving? First of all, drivability, obviously. Everybody of age that can drive probably needs to learn how to drive. A lot of people
Oh, yeah.
are driving, or their adult children are coming along. They should all drive. I'm going to hammer that.
And one of the things I think that's an easy time to drive to is when you're on the freeway like this. So once you get out, I mean, we're still really close to a heavily populated city, but there's a lot of driving across interstates where there's not much. So pull over, let them drive. There's not a lot of pressure on the road out there. It's usually a straight road. They can see how they fit in the lane, get comfortable with it, so that in the case of an emergency or an accident or something happens, you can get yourself home.
Yes. So important. That's my plan. Thank goodness it worked out, and it worked. And we're in a campground, and I had 2 weeks in the campground, and I went and said, we can't move. And they're like, well, we can see if we can extend you. What if they couldn't? So there
are also some other companies. There's SkyMed. That's something that we promote at National Indoor RV Centers. They're usually in all of our rallies, and that's that's not only helps you if you have a medical emergency, but they will get you to a hospital. If they need to, helicopter you in, they'll do that. They'll do whatever they need to, and then they'll also get a coach home. So that's a backup, but I still think
you had to drive.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And I was speaking with them. What I loved, he said, the gentleman I was speaking to at SkyMed said, if you have somebody that you say, hey, I want my son to drive it back, he said, we'll pay their airfare. We'll pay the gas for them to do it.
Yeah, they're not comfortable with another driver. They'd rather have someone that they know or a friend come drive it. It's an amazing service.
So yes, SkyMed has a lot of great opportunities because I've talked to a lot of people. Do you have an exit plan? Do you have a plan? Not just if somebody gets sick, what's your plan? And a lot of people haven't thought of these things.
Well, it's the little things. It doesn't even have to be a major life event like it was for you, unfortunately. But we had a gal at one of our rallies who, walking back to our coach at night, rolled her ankle and just broke it. Just really bad break. Luckily, we had some doctors that were at the rally that just said, don't move her, let's get the ambulance here, let's get her. And she was in the hospital for 2 weeks there.
There's National Indoor right here, the newest, most beautiful facility. I'm going to try while I'm here to do something of a tour of it. Lots of coaches, lots of coaches, and then you have places for people to be plugged in and stay there.
Right.
And
so
you can go over
if you come for service, you can either drop off your coach, or if you're, let's say you're full-time in your coach, that's your home. So we'll let you stay in your coach as long as the repair is something that we can do, where we can come get the coach from you in the morning and then get it back to you at night.
Oh, that's
so you can stay on property with us, and then when you buy a coach from us, like I said, you're going to spend your delivery day learning about your coach or your van, and then we really want you to stay a couple nights with us. So we just feel like your whole experience is going to be better if when you pull off our property, you are comfortable with how your vehicle, your coach works. And you're not guessing as you're going down the road, because there's nothing more uncomfortable. Especially when you just spend a lot of money, because these are a lot of money,
And I can't tell you how many times we've been in a campground. We had somebody that was in a travel trailer, brand new, just brought it in. I don't know exactly what was wrong with it. There was something with the electric, and they couldn't get the air on. And they called, and the company, I won't mention who the company was, said, oh, we'll bring somebody else to fix it. And the end went over, and he said, there's seriously something wrong here. And he said, I would tell them to come pick this up. And so you drive off the lot without any knowledge at all. And we've seen it many, many times in a campground, because people just go and pick them up and drive them away.
Actually, I have a funny experience. I had a couple that called me, and they thanked me for my video on there. It was a minivan, because they said that literally the dealer tossed them the keys, and they said, what about our walkthrough and our delivery? And they said, we'll send you a video. And they sent them my video. So so they're like, we appreciate you because you taught us about our van. Then you'd buy from us, so don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. And that's a big thing. And that's why Dan and I have always promoted see, because again, the quality, the important things. Number one, you care about the customer. It's not about the sale. It's about the customer and them having the absolute knowledge that they need to be safe on the road, to have an RV that's going to have quality and, you know.
And we want to sell them, I mean, honestly, we want to sell them a coach at a fair price, because we don't want them to be locked into that coach for life. We want them to be able to trade in 3 to 4 to 2, whatever it is, their timeline. Because life changes, situations change, you may want something different. And so if we give them a fair price when they buy their first coach, they're going to come back to us. They're going to be able to trade. Yes, they're going to be able to. They're going to be able to make a trade up or down, whatever way they want to go, depending on what their needs are then. So it's just, we really, like you said, we truly want customers for life. Do everything we can to treat the customer right. But this is fun.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun.
The nice thing about the vans are versatile. If you keep going straight. If you it's easy. You don't have to be in a park. You literally could be at a baseball field and you could put the blinds up, have the AC on,
And parking at my kid's house, unbeknownst to them.
Exactly. Well, that's kind of the bonus too. You have your own space. So even when you go visit family, you don't invade, and what's the saying? Like, keep going straight, and then we'll turn in at the main turn in here.
Yeah, it's funny because we had our RV and we bootstock, which for people who don't know, that's when you go just stay on somebody's property, you mooch off of them.
Yep.
And the people say, oh, if you want to come in and stay, I have plenty of room. We were thinking, but I want to be in my own bed.
Yes.
What do you mean? And that becomes very important.
Yeah, that's
when
really...
you're on the road.
Well, and I think for like a van, like I always recommend, pack your RV with, have a second set. So you have your second set of makeup and your clothes and and then you go left. So that you can get in and go. You don't have to pack a suitcase. All you have to do is like the food items.
Right.
You don't want to keep food in your van when you're not in it and using it, because you don't want rodents or anything else, trying to find that kind of stuff in your van,
Right.
Or coach. But basically, other than that, leave it kind of set up, and then you can go in a moment's notice, which is great.
That is great, and that's just how, I always travel. And again, we're full time, and this might look very different, but our travel would be, we make plans. They would always change.
Yep.
So it's a current thought, because that current thought could easily quickly change. And that's what it'd be, because if somebody said, hey, come here for the week.
So we're just going to take you down. You can see a little bit of the expo here. We're going to drive down the center, and we'll just watch out for pedestrians and our customers.
Yes, we don't want to run customers over. And this is so nice, the individual attention, an event like this that people can get, the one-on-one. Brett Davis is actually over there speaking with customers. Nobody's bothering him. He could talk as long as he wants.
It's actually been so nice for RV lifestyle specialists. We can spend time with the customer. They get to spend time with the coaches. The manufacturers have been phenomenal, and we couldn't have done it without them. They've been just so incredibly helpful, and they brought their product designers and their engineers, and so we can get all the questions asked and answered like on the spot, which is amazing. So really great partnership, and it's just so fun to see that shopping experience that we provided for our guests.
And as a content creator, this would be awesome. I could have a cameraman back there as I drive the van through. I wouldn't drive a 40.
Well, they wouldn't even allow it.
Yeah, no. And over here on the left is Freightliner, custom chassis, and this has been amazing.
Yeah, I feel like a family with our manufacturer friends, and it's just been such a different vibe and energy at this show, and not a panicky thing like, oh my gosh, how am I going to find the real people? We know that everyone that's here in attendance they're really interested in shopping and finding the right thing for them.
And this is just the beginning of this show. They're going to, Brett's vision is to do this every year.
Yeah, it will just get better. We're going to
Right.
learn a lot from our first year, and then we'll just improve. So next year will be even better.
Absolutely. And
Just take it all
and as
around.
Brett said, this fairground is, when I say humongous, I mean literally humongous. It could expand to triple the
Okay,
size.
you ready to back her in, or
Let's see.
jump out?
I'm going to try it because
Okay,
I'm
let
sure
me
there's a
get out.
backup.
Well, I don't know. Should I be your guide?
Philip is.
Well, okay,
Well,
I'll let him.
Philip. You tell me.
Phil, will you be her spotter and back her in?
So you should, as much as you can, have
We
a
went to
spotter.
we just got talking, and I'm like, we missed the exit like a long time ago.
We've been gone for 40
But
minutes.
I'm sure that you probably just did the 100 meter and you were already like, this is easy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
before
just
we got out
talked.
of here.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Also, and I was like, I do not know where we are.
She didn't share that. She kept it very quiet. She was very cool over here.
And
She
it's
never
up to
said
you.
it.
You don't need to back it up. If you want to, you can. I mean, there's a 360-degree camera. So
Okay, let's check out the
Let's do it.
360 degree
Okay.
camera because there are going to be times I'm going to be by myself
Right.
at a campground.
Right, and those 360 cameras are
Okay,
amazing.
let's check out the 360 camera. Philip's not worried because this van is owned by an IRBC.
Yeah. So as soon as you go into reverse, you're going to get that
Right.
camera popping up.
Okay. Check out that camera.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Now between your mirrors and the camera and Phil.
Okay. And then as you do this more and more, it gets easier because driving in a van, I would imagine sometimes Phil's got a look on his face. There should be a cameraman out there. I'm sure this becomes second nature. Yes?
Yeah,
that's
so
good.
now you can see right here.
What is that right there?
Well, that's probably a flag.
Okay. We don't want to get near it. So do I have
So
to move?
it looks like he's telling you to still come straight.
He's just standing there with his hands in his pockets. I'm going to get real.
You're fine. You see that?
Oh, okay. Now it's learning about these backup cameras because the Monaco certainly did not have
And
one.
then still use your mirrors. I think, I always rely on my mirrors as well until you
Yeah.
get really comfortable with your camera.
Yeah.
And even then, you should always double check with your mirrors.
Yep. And he's just sitting there. He's like, this bloke said IRBC. It's all good. Okay. He gave me a thumbs up.
That's awesome.
Okay. Now, we want to put the parking brake on. With
Yeah,
it.
so you put it in the park, hold the parking brake,
Okay.
and hang it.
We're good to go. Well, that was awesome.
I
Thank
know.
you
You're
so
welcome.
much. This was an incredible ride. Thank you.
You're
we got
welcome.
extra time with Angie. People are probably blowing up her phone
I
looking
know.
for her.
Well, it's like, I better just double check my maps.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
welcome.
I'll give- That was incredible. The Panoramic RV, definitely a van I would consider. When I walked into this van, the windows in there, the skylight, but the way that the table moves and reconfigures, this van has it all. Everything has been thought out. I did do some video while I was there, and that video will be coming out soon on my YouTube channel, Exploring Through Our Lens. I want to take a few minutes here to talk about some of my incredible sponsors. Clear2O. Clear2O.com is an incredible water filtration system. They have an inline water filter system. And what's different about Clear2O is the fact that they use a solid carbon system. Most water filtration systems use granular carbon. When I learned about this, it made so much sense. When you have granular carbon, the water will flow through that very quickly. If it is a solid carbon block, the way that Clear2O has a solid carbon block, the water will sit on that solid carbon block longer, cleaning the water. It is the carbon that cleans the water. You could check all of that out at clear2o.com, and That information is in the show notes, and they are offering a discount code. Check out the code in the show notes. That's clear2o.com. For those of you who are thinking about camping, RVing, staying somewhere in the cold weather, I recommend checking out Air Skirts, and that's airskirts.com. These are large inflatable tube-looking things that go around your RV. They are measured specifically for your RV, making it a seal around the whole bottom of the RV, keeping that warmth inside, and it really helps reduce the amount of heat you have to use in your RV. It helps keep it protected. It helps keep it warmer. These tube-like, think of big, large, gray torpedo-like tubes that are actually inflated and then go around your RV and keeps you warmer. Check them out at airskirts.com. It's now time for the featured campground of the week, and that is brought to you by RV Life. This week's featured campground is Thousand Trails Diamond Caverns RV and Golf Resort, and that is located in Park City, Kentucky. This campground has 68 sites. Thousand Trails Diamond Caverns RV and Golf Resort offers full hookups, pull-through sites, tent sites, a dog park, and 18-hole golf course, which looks incredible. It is a family-friendly campground, and it has so much to offer with a solid 7.5 rating on the RV Life campgrounds with 171 reviews. Now, if you want to check out this campground, go to campgrounds.rvlife.com. Type in Thousand Trails Diamond Caverns, and you will see all the information about this campground. And the best part is, right there from campgrounds.rvlife.com, there is a book now button, so you could book your stay at this campground. You could also see many photos, tips, a full list of their amenities. RV Life Campgrounds is part of the RV Life Pro Suite of products, and it is the most comprehensive source of RV parks, campgrounds, and resorts, as well as city, states, national parks, Corps of Engineers property, and so much more. You just have to visit campgrounds.rvlife.com to check it out. Now, I want to thank Angie Morell, and I want to thank Brett Davis for having me at the Music City Motorhome Expo. I want to thank my friend Jen, who came with me and helped me record, and Jacob, who is also doing video for me and will be editing this podcast. This podcast does not happen without the help and support of a lot of people. So I want to thank everyone. And I want to ask my listeners to put a comment wherever you're listening to the podcast. Put a comment in the review section, ask questions, tell me what you think of traveling in a van. I answer every single one of them. If you don't want to put a comment here on the podcast page, you could also go to my social media at RV Life Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. You have been listening to the RV Life Podcast. I'm Patti Hunt, wishing you a great rest of today and an even better day tomorrow.